All right, everyone, it's been announced that the Miss America pageant is going to be rebranded. They're no longer doing the swimsuit competition, so, the highest rated portion of it is going the way of the dinosaur. And the people running it, they're like, well, there's a cultural revolution going on, so we're evolving the nature of this contest. So, a contest that for almost 100 years now has been basically about the visual impact of a person. The Miss America contest fundamentally is a beauty pageant. That's basically what it boils down to. You're saying that you're going to stop making it about that, and it's going to be about being woke or something. Okay, well that makes it. See if the pageant actually manages to draw as many people in when it's not about physical features. Like it or not, people judge based on vision mostly. When you're talking about a TV program, which is basically what the pageant is, they're looking for eye candy. It's sort of like a game. It's like the game can be dumb, but it's graphically beautiful. So at the very least, when you're presenting its visual impact, it looks pretty good. Gaming companies do this with trailers all the time. Oh, look at how great the graphics are. Now you actually play the game and it fucking sucks, but that's what it is. Why is it that focusing, by the way, on physical attractiveness is inherently bad? No, I mean that in the most literal sense. We focus on intelligence. We focus on skill, we focus on strength, we focus on all these other aspects. This would be like taking like a contest for bodybuilders and saying, well, we're not going to judge you based on how big your muscles are, or how much you can lift. That would be bigoted and wrong. We're going to judge you based on how many mathematical calculations you can do. We're going to judge you. We're going to make you write a 500-word essay on fat acceptance, and that's how we're going to judge it. Now, first and foremost, I don't really care about this because I don't watch Miss America. I don't give a fuck about beauty pageants. I don't give a fuck about, sort of the markers that most people do when it comes to attractiveness anyway. So it's shit to me. It's like, who fucking cares? But when they're talking about cultural revolution, this isn't cultural revolution. What this is simply a change in the culture. It's also a temporary aspect of a current paradigm shift. They're gonna end up destroying their own pageant that's run since the 1920s. By the way, interestingly enough, this has happened before. This so-called cultural revolution happened in the 60s. During the 60s and into the 70s, with the wave of feminism then, there was a sort of trifecta force that attacked the Miss America pageant as being sexist and wrong. It wasn't just feminism. Some people are saying, well, this is a capitulation, basically, to the third wave feminists. Only in part. You gotta go beyond. You can't just blame, radfems are responsible for everything. They need allies in order to get anything accomplished. Who else has always joined them in these diatribes? Ultimately, and it's really, really strange, hyper-religious people. They didn't like the Miss America pageant, and then bored soccer moms. Busybodies. They themselves couldn't win in Miss America, so they want to see other people suffer. They feel jealous. That's honestly what it's about. And it's not all females either. Some of them are men. Busybodies, moralists. This is what spawned every bad mistake we've made as a nation. Prohibition was spawned by this same trifecta. Bored gossips talking about who is the town drunk, plus fire and brimstone ministers, plus suffragettes got together to ban alcohol. That's ultimately what it was about. This spawned the temperance era and prohibition. And it did gain women's suffrage at the time, by the way. They were successful. The second waivers were not ultimately successful in most marks. And the third waivers so far have been a joke. I would say that it's a fourth wave at this point, actually. Now it's gone off into the realm of total craftivism. It's even left behind the concept of men are bad in favor of basically everybody is bad. Everybody is bad and wrong, and it's purity spiraling down the toilet right now. You have a situation where over and over this happens. The drug war. What was the drug war? It's basically a combination of we want to clean up our men, and we don't want them going to the opium den or smoking tobacco or whatever. Fire and brimstone ministers didn't want them either. The opportunistic religious side is always in league with these moral movements because they make more money. They're like, hey, you shouldn't be spending money on cigarettes. It's a sin. The real reason, of course, is, hey, you should spend that money on building us a better church or something. I want a pay raise, so I'm going to side with your wife, basically, and try to make you miserable. And then the moral busybodies, the old crones that sit around and gossip about people. That's basically what spawns these things. That's not a cultural revolution, and it's happened before. This happened in the 60s with regards to the same fucking contest. But anyone pretending this is like the death of the free world, it's like, who pays attention to it anyway? Do you watch the actual pageant proceedings? No, probably not. Maybe you read about who won. They say, oh, this is a pretty person. Or maybe, oh, well, I don't find them attractive. Maybe they're brain dead or something. Who knows? And it's like, why should someone, let's say someone isn't woke. Let's say someone's just, they're dumb, ultimately. Well, they might still be very, very physically attractive. How is that any less valid, a marker to give someone a victory, give them a little crown or a trophy or whatever for, than their strength or their intellect? Their intellect is based on their brain's biology. Their strength is based on their musculature and ligaments and so forth. Their beauty, externally speaking, in general, the consensus is based on their body structure, how their face looks, how their hair looks, how they did their makeup and shit. Who cares? It doesn't matter. It's totally arbitrary to determine that is unacceptable and evil and bigoted and wrong, but all of these other contests are fine. What? So the next time that you have a chess championship, you're not going to base it based on whether the person is good at chess. You're going to have 5 or 6 other things that they have to fulfill. Oh, you need to do an essay on the civil rights movement, and we're going to test your knowledge of Weimar Germany's mistakes and stuff. That's dumb. That doesn't make any sense. This is a simplistic contest for simplistic people that ultimately boils down to having an audience that is looking for people who are attractive. That's what they want to see. They want to see people in their underwear walking down the catwalk. That's what Miss America is ultimately about. Yes, it's very shallow. So too is any weightlifting competition. So too is a math competition, a spelling bee. They're all shallow. It's just that we accept certain forms of shallowness over others. That's about all. Peace out.